We're in for a bumpy ride this week as Earth dodges multiple solar storm launches, but at least one of them is going to give us a glancing blow. That story and more in the news this week. If you want to learn how weather from our star causes impacts at the Earth that shape the future of our world, join Professors Dr. Jenny Meehan, Michael Cook, and myself as we guide you through a space weather certificate program like no other. To enroll in the Space Weather and Environment Science program offered at Millersville University, go to millersville.edu/SWEN. It's weather for the 21st century. This forecast also sponsored in part by CW Ops. Space weather this week is a bit of a mixed bag. As we take a look at our Earth-facing disk, look at all the little puffs all over the place. These are little mini solar storms, mainly filament launches, and this is what happens when we get close to solar maximum. They're just launching all the time. But the ones to watch is really from region 3354, right about late on the 27th, you can see whoosh, there goes a filament eruption. This structure looks like it's going to go pretty much east of Earth. You can see it in the coronagraphs. But there is an Earth-directed component, so we could get an impact, a glancing blow right around the 1st. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But believe it or not, that's not the only thing. As you continue watching this region, even late on the 28th into the 29th, you see another slight kind of whoosh-like eruption. And then on the 29th, near the end of that, once again, whoosh, there is another eruption. Now, both of these latter two eruptions look like they're going to go mainly northward of Earth, but there could be an Earth-directed component in one of them, so we could be getting some glancing blows a little bit to the east of us and also to the north of us. On top of that, we're also getting a coronal hole that's rotating into the Earth strike zone. This could enhance the effects of this, the solar storms that are glancing blows, so it's definitely going to be a bumpy ride for us as we move into the holiday weekend. And then on the top of that, as we take a look at the east limb, you see a lot of regions that look like they're going to be rotating into Earth view by the brightenings there. You also see that big eruption in the north. That's for far side eruption. So it tells you that we definitely have a lot of activity on Earth's far side. So definitely going to have that solar flux remain high and those risks for radio blackouts with big flares still on the menu. Switching to our M-flare and radio blackout threat meter, as we take a look at the X-ray flux over the course of this week, you can see we've been hovering above the seafloor and we've been popping quite a few solar flares. This does mean we have a lot of noise on the radio bands on Earth's day side this week, and that trend is going to continue. We've been popping mainly up to about R1 level radio blackouts, and this is mainly from region 3354, which is an X-flare player, so we could conceivably see R2 to R3 level radio blackouts, although the risk is small. The largest flare we got was an M3.85. It's almost an R2 level, not quite, but these are pretty short-lived flares, so they're not lasting all that long, which is good news. But meanwhile, this is going to continue easily over the next few days, and we could get even more activity as some of the regions that are going to be rotating into Earth view over the next few days look like they could be big flare players as well. Switching to our solar storm conditions, over the past week we've been hovering pretty much around unsettled conditions, although around the 24th and 25th we did bump up to storm levels due to a pocket of fast solar wind that was a bit more intense than we thought. It did bring us a little bit of a roar for a short bit, but all too quickly it was over, and then we continued around unsettled conditions, and now we're beginning to see these mini solar storms giving us these glancing blows. In fact, we bumped up to active conditions late on the 29th and into the 30th, and we should be seeing more of that as this new solar storm or set of solar storms give us this glancing blow over the 1st, possibly into the 2nd, and into the 3rd is when we'll start beginning to calm back down. Now, returning to that solar storm that was launched back on the 27th, this is our solar storm prediction model, NLOL. Now, this is NOAA's version of the model. The top panel's density, the bottom panel's velocity, and you're looking down at the sun from the North Pole with Earth being off to the right. Now, as we take a look at that solar storm launch, you can see it's being launched mainly to the east of Earth, but there is a little bit of a finger that extends upward and is going to give us kind of that glancing blow right around noon on the 1st is what NOAA's prediction model says. NASA's prediction model actually shows that we could have an impact that's a little bit more than a glancing blow, but in and around the same time period. So expect anytime starting around midday on the 1st, expect have some kind of impact. This means aurora photographers, if you're at high latitudes, you definitely could get a show. Aurora photographers at mid latitudes, well, it might be a bit more sporadic. However, we do have a fast solar wind stream that is coming up right on the heels of that particular storm, and we have those other two glancing blows that are coming right behind that. So it's really going to be kind of a sporadic catch as catch can when it comes to aurora. So only if you're dedicated should you go out and chase. So what else does our sun have in store for us this week? Well, this is stereo A. It's our partially far-sighted viewer. You can see here's Earth, here's the sun, and here's stereo A staring at the sun just a tiny bit from the side. And when we take a look at the view in stereo A, well, you can see region 3354. That's the most prominent region. It's also the most active. You can see it firing off some solar flares and even some solar storms lifting off from it as it makes its way to the west limb. But what I want you to focus on is the east limb in stereo's view. Look at all that bright limb activity there. These are actually old regions that have survived their far side passage. In fact, when we take a look at the JSOC HMI helioseismology far side viewer, you can see those dark regions. These are regions from back on the 16th that were rotating to the sun's far side, regions 3329 and 3327. And these regions look like they've definitely grown, and they are big flare players and solar storm producers. So this means we could have more chances for aurora and big solar storms being fired at Earth, and also big flares. So amateur radio operators understand that flare risk is going to continue to stay pretty high. Switching to our moon, we are now passing through the full moon phase, with the full moon being on the 3rd. And by the 6th, the moon will still be about 87% illuminated. So you night sky watchers, if you want to catch those dim objects in the sky, like, I don't know, maybe some aurora, well, you're going to have this bright companion. So you're going to need to check your local rise and set times. Switching to our solar storm conditions and aurora possibilities over the coming week, we are anticipating the hit from that glancing solar storm blow right around July 1st. At high latitudes, NOAA is expecting minor storm conditions with up to about a 30% chance for a major storm. And then after that, we are expecting that fast solar wind stream. It's not going to be all that fast, but it could give us a little bit of extended storming. So that will then cause things to calm down slowly over the 2nd and then into the 3rd before things really begin to get reasonably calm. But we do have those other solar storms that look like they're going to go mainly north of Earth, but that could once again extend the storming a little bit. So aurora photographers, if you're at high latitudes, you could get a decent show in and around the 1st, possibly in through the 3rd before things calm down. Now at mid latitudes, it's not quite as good of a show. We are only expecting unsettled conditions pretty much all the way across the board, even though we are having that solar storm hit. NOAA is giving us about a 15% chance of a minor storm right around the 1st, but again, we could see a little bit of extended storming depending upon what kind of hits us after that. So aurora photographers at mid latitudes, well, it's going to be a bit more sporadic for you. You might catch something here and there, but only if you're dedicated should you chase. Switching to our solar flare and dayside radio blackout outlook over the coming week, we do have a few active regions in Earth view, and the forecast is being driven by region 3354 because it's the most active by far. In fact, solar flux is staying in the 160s, and even as that region rotates to the sun's far side, we still have the new regions that are going to rotate into view, so likely that solar flux is going to stay in where between the 150s and 160 range. This does mean that we do have moderate noise on the dayside radio bands. Again, region 3354 is very flare active. In fact, NOAA is giving us about a 40% chance of M-class flares. This is at an R1 to R2 level radio blackout over the next few days. Now, our X-class flare risk has dropped a little bit. We're only at about a 5% chance of an R3 radio blackout, and that's going to continue. That might even drop off a little bit more even as region 3354 rotates to the sun's far side. We just have to see what those new regions are going to do as they rotate into Earth view. Now, switching to your radiation storm and polar aviation outlook over the coming week, everything is in the green. We don't have any active radiation storms right now, but as region 3354 rotates to the sun's far side, this could change. In fact, we're sitting at the D1 normal range right now for aviators. This is also the S0 quiet range, but we do have about a 10% chance of a radiation storm, and this is because that region is rotating to the sun's west limb. That always makes that radiation storm risk increase. So you aviators and air crew and frequent flyers, be aware that we do have an elevated risk right now for radiation storms, so make sure you take those ICAO advisories into consideration in your flight plans. So the space weather this week is a bit of a mixed bag. We do have that glancing solar storm blow that should hit us about midday on the 1st, and that could be followed by a small pocket of fast solar wind, which could be followed by some more glancing blows. So aurora photographers at high latitudes, you could get a show, right around midday of the 1st in through about the 3rd before things calm down. But aurora photographers at mid latitudes, well, these storms really aren't all that strong, and now you're fighting a full moon as well, so aurora shows could be a bit tough to catch. Now, amateur radio operators, well, you're dealing mainly with region 3354 right now, but we're only sitting at about R1 level radio blackouts. We could get an R2 level radio blackout, but luckily R3 level radio blackout risk has gone down quite a bit. So you're dealing mainly with noise on the bands, and luckily those radio blackouts from those big flares are not lasting all that long. So things may be a bit tough on the day side for a few days more, but things might quiet down a little bit for you. So just hang in there. And now you GPS users, well, we've got that kind of those radio blackouts on Earth's day side, and now we've got some solar storming on the night side. So things could be a little bit dicey all the way around. So be sure to stay away from dawn and dusk and stay away from aurora on Earth's night side for your GPS reception to stay top notch. I'm Tamitha Skov, the Space Weather Woman. Thank you for watching.
And there you go. There's Tamitha Skov, and that kind of gave you an idea about Mike's situation regarding the solar storms and propagation on the amateur radio bands, especially high frequency. Anyway, but guess what? It's 7:30, and welcome everyone. Welcome to the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net, and we try to stimulate you all by having some kind of a pre-video before our actual weekly net. Very special net tonight. Welcome to the 4th of July, celebrating our nation's independence. You got it. Our nation's birthday. We're definitely looking forward to that. And, of course, we have our buddies online, including Ron Hill. You got it. So, Ron, it's great to see you out there tonight. Wolf, great to see you, my friend. Fantastic. And John, well, he was out here. I probably got to grab a little snack or other things that need to be taken care of. Excuse me. Welcome to the Amateur Radio, the Amateur Television's The Weekly Net. The Amateur Television Network is a series of repeaters making it possible for you, our amateur television and YouTube superstars that you are, to make video communications with one another within our network coverage area. You can watch us globally on YouTube. Yes, we are live as we speak on YouTube, youtube.com/Amateur Television Network. You can definitely check us out. All right, for those that are watching on YouTube and love to participate in amateur television, but, I don't have any amateur radio equipment. Well, have no fear. That's why we have our Whereby channel, whereby.com/ATN1. And, of course, we have a fantastic group of people out here tonight, including Wolf, John, Rod is out here. There they are, my friends. Look at them. Beautiful. We love you. The big thumbs up from Wolf and John. You got it. The musculars out there. Fantastic. All right. For more information regarding the Amateur Television Network, you can always go to our website, www.atn-tv.com. We'd love to have you check us out, get some information regarding how to get on amateur television, and then some. I'll tell you, today cannot be any easier than getting on that 905, grab some dishes, or if we're close to a repeater, hey, even use a Yagi, and you can get in and check us out. That'd be pretty darn cool, too. And, of course, DMR Radio 3196 is our talk group on the Brandmeister Network, and our backup system 224 on TGIF on DMR. And someone's always monitoring, including me. And I'll have it with me on vacation, too. This portion of this net is a directed net. Transmissions may be made after acknowledgement by net control, and a clear frequency is always appreciated. We're going to start with bulletins and announcements, and, of course, that will follow after a brief pause for any priority traffic. I'm Roland, KC6JPG, your net control tonight. All right, not hearing any priority traffic. We're going to go right on into bulletins and announcements. And I haven't heard nothing from Mike, but let's see if Tom is out here. WB6HYH, and I see him on our online community, but let's see if he's out here on RF. So, Tom, take it away. KC6JPG, net control.
Oh, I guess it is on. Okay. I'm here, WB6HYH, and no news on Mike yet. I did get a email from him. Let's see, it was on Tuesday. No. Oh, I forget which night it was. Had to be about 3 or 4 nights ago. And he asked me if I wanted to try and contact him. Unfortunately, it was after I went to bed, and I wasn't feeling good that evening, having a little indigestion problems, and ended up turning the radio off and going to bed. The one and only time that I've ever done that, heartedly. Every night I've been listening for him, calling him, and no results as of yet. But he did text me and asked if I wanted to get on there, and I didn't see his email till the next morning, unfortunately. So, wouldn't you know it, he would text me on that day. But I sent him a reply. I don't know if he's read it or not, because I didn't get a reply back that he did. But I told him I would be on this about the same time every night, and I was going to call him every 15 minutes on the hour, half hour, and quarter past. I call him for about 5 minutes. I've actually got it on a recording on my radio, so I don't have to keep calling myself. I just hit the button and it calls him. So I've been doing that, and from about 7:30 and till about 8 or 9. And haven't heard him answer me, and I keep listening in between those times, trying to find him up and down on 20 meters. He said 20 meters would be the best. And but I've been listening, nothing back from him so far. And the band has not been the greatest, but it's up and down. Especially during the day, it's not too good, but it does seem to improve in the evening. So I've been trying to get a hold of him, but haven't yet. So I forgot what day he was going to be heading back. So if anybody's got that information, I'm sure I got it in a telephone message someplace. But if somebody could tell me right off when he's going to be heading back, we'll know not to call him anymore after that. So, but we're still trying every night, and we'll, if anything happens, we'll let everybody know one way or another. So let's see, that's about it. I've been working, well, I'll wait until later to tell you what I've been doing. So that's the announcement from that I have on Mike Hollis. So back to you, Roland. This is WB6HYH, Rancho Cucamonga.
WB6HYH KC6JPG. Very good, Tom. Thank you very much for the updates regarding Mike. Yeah, I was watching and airing Tabitha Scove in regard to the solar flares and things like that. And, we had some activity, solar activity, during his time there at Pitcairn. And, of course, it seemed to calm down a bit as we're approaching July. But I'm sorry that you're not able to contact him. I told him to bring his DMR hotspot and bring DMR radio if you want to, for sure contact. Just connect to the internet internet router somehow. That way you can just simply push the button and can be able to talk to us. Anyway, but yeah, I have my DMR radio on in case that he did bring it. So, the hotspot wasn't that big, and of course the DMR handheld was very small and light, so we were hoping that he might bring the DMR radio, but I haven't heard him on DMR radio, and I don't think he took it. So anyway, but very good. We'll definitely looking forward to getting contact with him, and obviously looking at some fantastic pictures and video. So Tom, thank you very much for bringing that up, and sorry we're not able to contact on Mike and HF. All right, any other stations that would like to announce any bulletins or announcements for this evening's net come in at this time? KC6JPG, net control. And once again, we'd just like to wish you a very happy Independence Day to each and every one of you. And thank you very much for your service to keep us independent. You got it. And we're going to go ahead and start with check-ins. We're going to start with Mount Wilson. Mount Wilson check-ins come in at this time. I pretty much guarantee it's going to be a light net tonight because of all the barbecues and, of course, the fireworks that's going to be happening pretty soon once California gets into the dusk hours pretty quickly. KC6JPG, Mount Wilson check-ins come in at this time.
Looks like I'm in and out here. Does anybody know what's happened to Bob from Long Beach? He hasn't been on here in some time.
Hey, Ron. Yeah, got your audio full, of Q5 there, so that was awesome. No, I have not heard from Bob, and I probably should give him a phone call. I haven't seen, as a matter of fact, I haven't probably seen him in the last 6 weeks. And the last time I had a conversation with him, he was going to go to the VA hospital for some procedure. And so definitely we'll have to reach out to him and see how he's doing. Hopefully he's okay. Back to you, Ron. KC6JPG, net control.
I was just kind of wondering. I keep asking, but my audio's been so bad lately, you don't get it. So I just thought I'd try again, and because I've missed him, he usually cuts in on me when he checks in, so I kind of hesitate waiting for him to come along, but he hasn't made it for some time. And we're just having a quiet 4th here, not much going on, just another day. 86NIZ, back to you.
KD6NIZ, KC6JPG. Well, that time you were Q5 on audio, so that was fantastic, and no breakup on your video at all. So congratulations on that, Ron. So very good. We'll see if we can get a hold of Bob and hopefully he's okay. So definitely give a prayer to him, if hoping everything is okay. All right, anyone else on Mount Wilson come in at this time? KC6 JPG, net control. All right, let's go to Snow Peak and let's check in Earl, KJ6DQR, and Julie, KJ6FYY, Cathedral City.
Hello everybody, Earl here in the Cathedral City Cove. We're getting ready to do our flag thing and go check out some fireworks out as soon as it gets dark out here. Anyway, it's bloody hot. It's a little cooler today. It's still just a bit, well, 7:45 and it's still over 100 degrees, so it's pretty warm outside. So I don't know how long we'll last outside to watch fireworks, but we'll give it a shot. Anyway, that's what's going on around here. Just, it finally got hot, ready for fireworks and all that good stuff. Hope everybody out there, you guys all have a good 4th. And that's about it. Back to you, Roland.
KJ6DQR, KC6JPG. Very good, Earl. Sounds great about the fireworks. We'll be definitely listening to them here at the Quake Stadium. They're just not too far away from my house. So I got too many trees it blocks my view of the fireworks. But who knows? Maybe tonight, maybe my wife and I will go up on top of a hill and we'll check them out. It'll be date night. Sounds great, Earl. You take care. Thank you very much for checking in tonight. Happy Independence Day. Love the flag. Speaking of flag, I taught my Stars, Stripes, and Sweat. It was a 90-minute program, 3 groups. Yes, I had to teach a half hour per group, and so it was basically 90 minutes on the bike. It was flipping awesome for me as a cyclist. And so, but woo, I'm ready for a nap. It was all great. Anyway, but it was awesome. 48 people signed up for it and participated in it. And it was basically started with cycling. And then from cycling went to resistance, and from resistance to stretching and yoga. So we had 3 different stations and started at 7:30 a.m. And finished at 9. So it was a really great outpouring. So anyway, but thank you very much, Earl, for checking in. All right. Anyone else on Snow Peak? I'd like to check in. Come in at this time. KC6JPG, net control. All right, let's go to Oat Mountain now. Oat Mountain check-ins come in at this time. KC6JPG, net control.
KG6JPG, this is W6IST here at Porter Ranch. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's having a nice 4th of July. It's been nice here. The weather's been real good here in Porter Ranch in the San Fernando Valley. It's been in the 80s. So it's a lot cooler than the past few days. So that's about it from here. We'll see if anyone's checking in. So, Roland, have a good rest of the week and the rest of the net. This is W6IST back to net control.
W6IST, KC6JPG. Very good, Alan. I'll tell you, that was Q5 and P5 on the picture. So great job, bud. So sounds like conditions are perfect on the link. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. All right, continuing on with Oat Mountain. Oat Mountain check-ins coming at this time. KC6JPG, net control. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. And wait for his audio to pop in. Obviously a little QRM.
Bob, you got no audio. You got no audio, Bob.
Well, Bob, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but no audio. It's interesting because I even see the Ratamatat, and I don't hear audio on that either. So something going on 434. Back to you.
All right. We'll try it again with the audio connected. Is this better?
Oh, Bob, that's Q5 now, bud. Perfect. To you.
Well, you see I have a switch here. Unlike yourself, Roland, who have multiple switches, I have one switch. That's enough to screw me up for the evening. What I was saying was that I'm anxious to see what's happening with Bob, too, because Bob has a son, as you probably might know, that's actually a doctor here in Simi Valley. And he retired a couple of months ago, so we're hoping he's kind of helping with Dad and other stuff. I'm not sure what's going on with him. Earl, plug your ears. I'm going to tell you what the temperature is here. We're a little closer to the ocean than Earl is. We're about 20 miles from the ocean. It's 68 degrees here. 68. Haven't had to run the air conditioning all year long. We have had to run the heater, though. So maybe that balances out. Seeing a little bit of interference there for a second. Hope signals are good this evening. Sorry to hear that we're having such a challenge with Mike, but boy, I tell you, the flare that the sun caused this last week was a real problem. And the band has not been all that terrific. So sorry to have that happen. And we're anxious to see videos, I think, from Mike when he gets back. Hopefully he's got a bunch. Good to see everybody this evening. We'll switch it back to you, Roland. W6KGE.
W6KGE, KC6JPG. First of all, I like how you put with I have many buttons and you have one button. And guess what? I'm down to one button and it still screws me up if I'm not paying attention. Bob, you were perfect that time, my friend. Very, very good. Thank you very much for checking in. And yeah, Mike got this little teeny HD camcorder that basically fit in his pretty much fit in his pocket very comfortably. So hoping, and I'm crossing my fingers, that he took a lot of video. So that would be really, really cool. I'm looking forward to his setup and the views that he has in the island. Of course, taking the family photos as well, or family video, and getting interviews and highlights and testimonials and the TV station and relax. Does Mike know how to relax? Have to ask that question. Very good, Bob. And signals are terrific tonight, so you're looking great. So very good. Thank you very, very much for your check-in, my friend. 68 degrees in Simi Valley. That's unheard of, especially in July. Wow. Cover your ears, Earl. It's been 99 here in Rancho Cucamonga, and I'll tell you, it's been a little warm here too. Continuing with Oat Mountain check-ins come in at this time. KC6JPG, net control. I'm trying to figure out where my audio leak is coming from here. Interesting. Let me do this. I'm going to have to do that. All right. Oh, I know what's going on. Everything's good. All right, let's go to Santiago Peak now. Santiago Peak check-ins come in at this time. KC6JPG, net control.
Well, I guess Gordo's not on tonight, so I'll jump in here. I'm looking at my thermometer right now. It just went from 78 down to 77. So, Earl, it's not too bad here either. What are you doing with all the hot temperature out there? I'm looking at you on Whereby. So anyways, yeah, it's pretty nice here right now. And Roland, just to let you know, I can see. Oops. Stop playing with the button. I can see Quake Stadium fireworks from my family room here. If I look out the front bay window here, I can see the fireworks. We usually go outside and sit, out in the yard there a little bit and watch the fireworks. And so we'll probably do that a little bit later. And as soon as we start hearing them, we can definitely hear them from our house here, inside the house. So a little bit closer, I guess, than you are. And no, actually, if it wasn't that I got a clear shot, there's no trees between me and it. So if there was any trees, it would probably block our view. Well, let's see. With that, just been operating 13 colonies this week. Started Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Of course, I didn't get on until noon because it runs all week until this next Friday at 9 p.m. And trying to work all 13 colonies. I usually do it on the single sideband, and I just spent about 5 hours today trying to get FT8 working on my computer again. I really got discouraged with it. Hadn't used it for, turns out, about 2 years now. And but I decided this morning I was going to try to see if I can get it installed, newest version and all that. And so finally about 5:30 this evening, I got FT8 working. So I've been making a few contacts with FT8 now, and working the 13 colonies. I've got all but one, and one of the extra, there's 3 extra stations on, one in France, one in England, and one in Pennsylvania. They're all kind of bonus stations. And then they have the 13 colonies. And I've worked them all except for, let's see, which one am I missing? Oh, Connecticut. I don't have Connecticut yet. So I'm going to try to get Connecticut worked, and I'll have all 13 colonies. And then what I have done in the past, year before last, I worked them all on single sideband, and then I went back and worked them all on FT8. So that's why I know it was about 2 years ago at least I was on FT8. But I enjoy doing that. And see, last year, since I didn't want to use FT8, I worked all the 13 colonies twice. I worked them all within the first couple of days, kind of like now, and then I spend the rest of the week working them all a second time, just for the fun of it. Overachiever. But it's a lot of fun. I like getting on the radio. That's why every night I've been calling Mike. I usually start around 7 o'clock, and I'll call him for a while, then I'll listen for a while, then I'll call him again. And it's about a 15-minute, I'd call him for about 5 minutes off and on, listening in between. And then for the next 10 minutes, I'll just listen up and down the band, see if I can hear him. And if anybody works them, I was hoping they'd post them on the DX cluster, because I keep monitoring that too, see if this call sign comes up. And haven't seen him displayed on the DX cluster either, so not having too much luck with him. But he says in his email, he said he has been making a lot of contacts with Europe, he said Europe's been coming in great, and he's made several contacts, and he says actually better than the U.S. Stations. So that's the problem. So anyways, that's about it from here. This is Tom, WB6, in a cool 77 degrees Rancho Cucamonga. And just got to rub that in, Earl, you know. And my brother said it's pretty hot out in Yucca Valley, too, so not too bad. We'll catch you all next week. WB6HYH, Rancho Cucamonga. Back to you, Roland.
Now, WB6HYH, KC6JPG. Very good, Tom. And it's cooling quite nicely over here in Rancho Cucamonga. I was over at a pool party with the in-laws, which is my son's new wife. And they invited us over here at Rancho Cucamonga and for a little pool party. And it was quite warm between the hours of 1 and 2:30. So now it's cooling down quite nicely here. So that's awesome. Who knows? Maybe I just might go for a night ride. So there you go. Ride that thing. I need to start riding if I'm going to start doing these long distance events coming up. Anyway, very good, Tom. Thank you very, very much for checking in once again. And thank you very much for all that you do with being the president of the Amateur Television Network, Southern California and Nevada chapters. Thank you so much. All right, continuing. Santiago Peak check-ins coming at this time. KC6JPG. Net control. All right, let's go to Job's Peak. Job's Peak check-ins coming at this time. KC6JPG, net control. Checking in for Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara repeater check-ins coming at this time. KC6JPG, net control. All right, let's make our chapter stations now, and let's go to New York. And that's where our buddy Manuel is at. And to MJF, the beautiful, the Big Apple itself in New York. So, my friend, how you doing tonight? And what's new with you? KC6JPG, net control.
Sitting here in New York City, enjoying the illegal fireworks, gunshots. That's what you hear in the background of my building. My neighbors are setting them off there. And I have my leg kind of swollen on my left knee bad. It's getting better. It's the same thing, it's fun. It's very humid here and sticky tonight. Mid-80s and the humidity's up there, 68, 70%. Give it back to you, Roland.
And to MJF, KC6JPG. Very good, Manuel. Glad you're enjoying the show of our nation's independence. Whether legal or illegal, it's still pretty to see. That's for sure. As long as no one gets into big trouble. Very good, Manuel. Thank you very much for checking in. All right, North Carolina this time. That's where our buddy John is at. AF7PA over in Mooresville. John, it's great to see you out here, my friend, and welcome. And how is your 4th of July celebration happening? KC6JPG, net control. Oh, hold on a minute. There we go. Let's try that. KC6JPG, net control.
Well, if the mic's working, I'm doing pretty good. I've got some SDR in the other window. And I hope you can't hear it. I muted it now. I was listening for Mike, but I couldn't find him either. Not very good antenna here. Well, it's 77 degrees here, so I'm right in the middle of the group and no wind, mostly clear. The full moon, nice and big and a little red. Don't know if that's the moon or fire someplace. But anyway, that's what I see. And not much going on. Been trapping squirrels and I had an unfortunate accident. I went to the store to get something. I came back and one was in the trap and scared himself to death. So uh, kind of begging off the live trapping for a while. The object of the game is to get them live. But anyway, uh, I got 4 for 4, so I think the bird seed is probably safe for a while now. So we'll see what happens. So that's it from here, and back to net AF7PA.
AF7PA, KC6JPG. Very good, my friend. Thank you very much. 4 for 4. That's actually a pretty good score. And definitely your feathered friends are much happier now. That's 4 less for those darn squirrels to get the bird seed. Good job, bud. So I know that feeling about you're trapping the squirrels and you scared yourself to death. You kind of feel sorry for little suckers, even though they're rodents. But it's all good. Very good, John. Thank you very much for checking in. It's all good. It's all good. All right, continuing on with our check-ins, we're going to go to Arizona, and that's where Lee is at, our net control for the Arizona Amateur Television Television Club, the television chapter, K0CCU, KC6JPG. It's great to see you, my friend. What's going on, Lee? And happy Independence Day, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, KC6JPG, K0CCU. With the rest of the net, everybody looking good here. And I'll make Earl feel good. We're still between 101 and 105 over here, so with about 11% humidity. So we're right in there with you, Earl. We're staying inside. We could watch the fireworks, I think, from one of the windows around here. We'll be happy with that, or turn it on the big screen and watch them there. But anyway, it's been a good day here. We've been enjoying the quiet and the peace here. The noise out there starting to gear up, and all the little pups around are hiding and so forth. My daughter has a couple of them over there, and one of them he started hiding. I think last Friday, by the time with the fireworks going off and stuff like that. So he's a mess when it comes to the fireworks. I saw a cartoon says that they put earplugs on their dog, and I thought, that'd be kind of nice if you could figure out how to do that, and then they wouldn't hear them. So that'd be okay. Maybe I'll have to design something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it's good over here, and it's good to live in this country with all of its warts and problems and so forth. It's still the best one around, and it's I'm glad I live here. So that's about it from here. I was watching Manuel starting to he had his mic muted, so we couldn't hear him snoring, but his eyelids got really kind of heavy there for a little while. I thought, good thing that Roland called on him before he fell asleep. So anyway, I'm waiting for Roland to replay the one where he's snoring, but I haven't seen that one yet. So anyway, let's pick on Manuel. He's in New York. In New York, people need to be picked up. So anyway, have a good day and have a good 4th. And I know Wolfgang down here, he's got some good humidity, and he can keep it. So back to you, Roland. KC6JPG, K0CCU.
K0CCU, KC6JPG. Oh, very good, Lee. Well, the video of our wonderful friend Manuel is definitely online, so you can check it out on the video section. It's great. Even Manuel saw it. He loves it. It's all good. It's all good. Our bouncer, ready to pounce because he's ready, always ready. You got it. That's the look. That's the look I'm looking for. Oh yeah. All right. I got to cut away. I got to cut away to look. You want to look at our bouncer? This is our bouncer, people. Uh-huh. Right on schedule. That's how we do things on the Amateur Television Network. Anyone with a call sign's invited. Anyone without a call sign, you're bounced. The bouncer, he will take good care of you. All right, we're going to Florida this time. And that's where our buddy Wolf is at. You got a KV4 ATV. So, Wolf, it's good to see you out there, my friend. What's going on in Florida besides the hot humidity? KC6JPG, net control.
We have had some pretty bad weather down here, and I could kind of understand people with some of their high temperatures, but you wake up at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, you look over at your meteorology equipment here, and we're ranging anywhere between 95 and 99% humidity. We're ranging temperatures already up to 102 to 110 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning. We've had peaks over here that we can show that we recorded of a peak of a heat index of 144 degrees. So you're talking humidity levels close to 100, peak indices of 144. All I can say, welcome to Florida. Now, if you want to see what's humid and hot, come to Panama City, Florida. We'll be glad to share it with you down here, because it has been HE. I can't say that on the ATN net, but y'all know the word. HE double toothpicks. It's been and hot down here. So anyway, Roland, all I can say is y'all don't like the heat. They say stay out of the kitchen. If you don't like the heat and humidity, stay out of Florida. Anyway, that's about all we got going here. I see it's not even Ron was in here tonight. So I guess it's too hot for him. We've had some fireworks going on, and I didn't even go outside. We're looking right now at 80, 81 degrees. 89 is our heat index with 91 humidity and climbing. And it's 10 minutes after 10 at night over here Central Time. So, it's a little bit miserable. Anyway, that's all I've got, some miserable weather for the net tonight. But I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July and salute to all the veterans and stuff. So, Roland, I'll turn it back to y'all, and I'll sit over here and just, I guess, watch humidity go up.
KV4 ATV, KC6JPG. 144 indice. Holy smokes. You can that's London broil setting. But then again, it's yeah, right. Exactly. So you definitely get that medium rare. So wow, medium rare for all of us. Well, definitely get a nice suntan with that 95. That'll make you sweat. That's Star Stripes and sweat right there. Right, gang?
Set your coffee out there in the sun. It doesn't even get cold down here.
Yes.
You ain't got to worry about it. Coffee stays hot all day. Just set it outside the house.
I love this. Well, very good, Wolf. Well, thank you very much for checking in. You take care, and thank you very much for your service. And if you see Ron out there, tell him Happy Independence Day, and thank you for his service too, because without our military, we wouldn't be what we are today. Us people, we the people, we have a voice, and you know what? That's what it's all about for this country. So thank you very, very much, Wolf. Appreciate it. All right, going back to Arizona, and that's where Rod is at, WB9 KMO in Mesa, Arizona. Rod, how you doing, my friend? I noticed that you're relaxing on the couch, watching that wonderful Independence Day fireworks on the screen, and then goes picture in picture with the Amateur Television Network. That's actually pretty darn cool. I mean, what better to watch the net and participate in the net right there in the luxury of your recliner and watching on the big screen. Rod, to you, KC6JPG, net control. Wow, he was out here. Okay, so he'll be back. All right.
Shut off.
Exactly. Who knows? He was out here. We did see him, and he probably just stepped out for a moment. He'll be back. Usually back on the Whereby Roundtable. Speaking of Whereby Roundtable, that's exactly where we're going to be having our afternet and watching fireworks online. So you got it. So whereby.com/ATN1. Yeah, that's where it's all about. All right. That's the check-ins that I have at any late members, missed members, any visitors that like to check in with the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net. Come in at this time. KC6JPG, net control.
That would be me, KD6OMV over in Riverside, listening to the popping and banging outside. I don't know how bad it's going to get, but the cats seem to be worried. Anyhow, we're all over here waiting for the 4th of July festivities and making sure that they don't light my house on fire. Anyhow, not a lot to add this evening. It was just another nice warm day and a little bit of breeze over here in Riverside. But that's about it for this evening, so I'll turn it back to you, Roland. This is Norm, KD6OMV and Riverside.
KD6OMV, KC6JPG. Norms, great to see you, my friend, and thank you very much for checking in, and glad you're enjoying the fireworks, and yes, House Patrol. Especially with where I live in Rancho Cucamonga, I'm pretty close to the base, not too close, but we're pretty close to the base of the mountain, so we're definitely keeping an eye out. So, we got signs all over the place in Rancho saying, no illegal fireworks, $1,000 fine, blah, 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 or no fireworks at all, period. So, yep. And, but next door, over the border, Fontucky, they're get ready. It's going to be a war zone out there. That's a show. So, place to be, up in the mountains. Right, Tom? Exactly. And, of course, we got our professional fireworks out here in Quake Stadium, too. But, unfortunately, I'm going to be blocked with a bunch of trees around my house. So, that's all okay, too. All right. Norm, thanks for checking in. All right. And any other check-ins, RF on all systems come in at this time. KC6JPG, net control. All right, we got another installment from our buddy. You got it. AE5DW. Don, you got it for another edition of Amateur Radio Newsline.
From Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2383. This is Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, July 5th, 2023. In the UK, Ofcom is proposing a major overhaul of amateur radio licensing and operations.
Stating it wants to provide amateurs in the UK with greater access to licenses while delivering greater operating freedom, the communications regulator Ofcom is proposing sweeping changes to its ham radio license framework. None of these changes affects the frequencies or bands amateurs can use, but it does increase the maximum permitted transmitting power for the three classes of license. The proposed maximum allowances are 20 watt for the foundation, 100 watts for intermediate in most bands, and 1,000 watts for full license holders who are operating where ham radio has a primary allocation. The holders of a foundation license would be permitted on the 2.4 gigs and 5 gigs bands. In another change, hams advancing to a higher class of license would be required to surrender their lower level license and call sign, only a single personal license. This requirement would not apply to clubs. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
So, you want to be part of the World Radio Sport Team Championship, but you didn't qualify, and you're not in Italy right now. Well, that's a small point, really, if you want to get in on the action.
While amateur radio teams from all over the world compete in the WRTC on July 8th and July 9th, hams from all over the world can now compete right along with the competitors. Organisers have announced the WRTC 2022 Competition Award. Yes, it's still known as WRTC 2022 because of the one-year COVID delay. Hams who have had QSOs with competing stations in the championship can work towards this award by getting on the air during the contest and listening for the action. Organisers recommend that those seeking the award submit their complete logs within 6 hours after the contest ends, which will be at 1800 UTC, Sunday the 9th of July. The WRTC 2022 Competition Award is the latest event created in support of the championship. The WRTC 2023 award, offered earlier, challenged radio operators to make contacts with special event stations in 12 regions throughout Italy. There were also special event stations around the world, most of them also ending with the suffix. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
And for our final item this week, we are proud to announce the winner of the 2023 Amateur Radio Newsline, Bill Pasternak Memorial Young Ham of the Year Award. Amateur Radio Newsline's Mark Abramovich, NT3V, is the chairman of the award program, and he spoke with our latest honoree.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Yes, that is so cool. Thank you so much.
And that was the reaction of Case Van Osprey, W0 Alpha Alpha Echo of Maple Grove, Minnesota, in suburban Minneapolis upon learning he had been selected as the Young Ham of the Year. Case recently turned 19 years old, just making the cutoff for the award. He's the son of Mark and Jean Van Osprey. He's a recent honors graduate of Heritage Christian Academy in Maple Grove and was the valedictorian for his class. Case says when he was 12, during a museum visit, he spotted a fascinating exhibit that sparked his curiosity about amateur radio.
And I saw this cool amateur radio shack there. There was this cool map with all of their markers where they made contacts assigned to Antarctica.
Case will begin college in August at Iowa State University.
I'm really excited because they have a great aerospace engineering program 3.5 hours away from me, so not too far away. There are only a few colleges in the country that actually do this particular major.
Congratulations, Case, from all of us at Amateur Radio Newsline. I'm Mark Abramovich, NT3V.
There's much more to learn about Case, and you can hear the entire story in this week's Amateur Radio Newsline report. We'll present Case with the award on stage at the Huntsville Hamfest in Alabama, Saturday afternoon, August 19th. You are cordially invited to join us there. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, Graham Kemp, VK4BB, Mark Abramovich, NT3V, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe, I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW. 7-3, we'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.
And thank you very, very much, Don, for this week's edition of Amateur Radio Newsline. We really, really appreciate it. Great story, and congratulations to our Young Ham of the Year award. And that's, I'll tell you, he's living in a fantastic place, Maple Grove, Minnesota. Very beautiful area, and just outside the city of Minneapolis. Very good. Congratulations. That's awesome. All right, any last-minute comments before we close and going into our Whereby Afternet? KC6 JPG, Net Control. Stand by, Rod. All right, going back to Arizona, we got Rod, WB9, KMO in Mesa. Rod, good evening and happy Independence Day to you.
Hello there and happy birthday, America. Uh-oh. I don't know what's wrong with the audio. I guess you hear me. So yesterday, we had a nice party at my place. It was a Independence Day Eve party. I'm finding that I can get more people here the day before a major holiday than I can on a major holiday. So we had a really good turnout, a lot of fun. We had some fireworks, a lot of people swimming, wonderful food. It was the week after celebration of my birthday. There was a week before celebration, and then we didn't celebrate on my birthday, which is weird. And then we had a week after celebration, and there's a lot of leftover, very decadent chocolate cake with chocolate frosting. I'm looking forward to getting into that as soon as I get my glucose down under 300, if that happens. No, it's not that high, fortunately. But, and we had a chocolate fountain out, and we had a bunch of kids there, and that always makes it much more festive. And the kids were great. So hope you guys had fun celebrating yesterday, but I hope you're having fun celebrating tonight as well. I'm going to do my best to show some local fireworks with my tower cam, but I have to freely admit that it has some major problems at night. It's much better. The autofocus doesn't work. It's just horrible. I wish I could turn it off and just use manual focus, set it at infinity. It would be perfect. All this automatic stuff messes me up, like spell check. I really offend people when I spell things correctly and spell check comes along and really messes it up, and I hate it. So anyway, give me the pencil and paper days. It was a lot better in that regard. Let's see. Oh, lots of things to report here. I tried my hardest to get a hold of Mike when he was out at Pitcairn Island. I tried to get a hold of stations that good stations. Some people didn't respond. They said they were going to allow people to come in, and they didn't. On field day, I tried for two full hours, plus encouraged other people to try to listen for him and contact him. Nothing. And the band was quite open, not necessarily to that though. Then what had the greatest potential was websdr.org. Websdr.org is a bunch of SDR receivers online that you can go to, and you can shift bands, shift frequencies, look at waterfalls. You can run various modes. For the first time on websdr.org or anywhere, I ran FT8. Now, I only received, but it was pretty cool. It's like in the old days, you'd receive something like an RTTY signal, and you couldn't display it on your radio, so you ran it into a computer and it decoded it. Well, the WebSDR will decode FT8 for you, and it will show multiple things on the screen in real time at the same time. So never saw any evidence of a VP6 of any kind while I was looking all over with that. There might have been a way to check their logs and find out when somebody else may have, but I wasn't able to figure that out with the time that I have. Anyway, if you ever get a chance, check out websdr.org. It's a lot of fun. They have receivers all over the world. There's a really good one in northern Utah and a really good one in San Francisco. There's supposedly a good one in the Phoenix area. When I tried that, the band was absolutely dead in Phoenix. I think everything skips over Phoenix. That might be one of my problems. Let's see. I'm glad I'm not on RF. I would have timed it out a long time ago. I have a whole bunch of other things to talk about here, but let's leave it at that for now. Back to you. This is Rod, WB9KMO, East Mesa, Thunder Mountain. Happy Independence Day.
And happy Independence Day to you too, Rod. Thank you very much for checking in tonight, and thank you very much for about WebSDR. We'll check that out for sure. So very good, sir. All right. Well, let's see here. Let's see what's going on. Like now, I got a live shot of what's happening in the looks like somewhere live. It says LA, but I know it's not quite dark. Well, it is kind of dark out there. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to, let's go to see a little firework action. How's that? And so what we like to say is we wish you and yours a very happy Independence Day. And, of course, we're going to be here for the Whereby Roundtable. And guess what? My classes have been on hiatus for the mornings throughout the summer. Yay! Which means I can hang around a little longer tonight. So that's a really great thing. All right. We're going to try once again. Any last-minute stations that like to announce, like to check in? Coming at this time, KC6JPG. Net control. Well, this has been the Amateur Television Network special edition of our weekly net, Independence Day 2023. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for participating with us tonight. It was a lot of fun. And it was a light night tonight, but it was great because you guys were participating in a very historic occasion, having a net right on July the 4th. That's awesome. All right. And, of course, without you, there would not be a net. And that, of course, from the words of Bob W8ARZ, who is always in our hearts forever. You take care. We will see you on Whereby. The repeaters are now returned for their normal use. And happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day to you and your family, and for those that served to keep our country free, we thank you very, very much for your service. And now at 2028 local time, the Amateur Television Network's The Weekly Net is now officially closed. Take care. See you on Whereby. KC6JPG. Good night. That's ugly. I don't know if you want sound or no sound. I decided to turn the sound off, so we'll disturb our talking. I don't know. Sometimes the noise makes a difference, doesn't it? Well, it's definitely in LA because when the camera just goes more towards the horizon, you still see a glow in the sky. So pretty darn cool. Wow, Independence Day on a net night. I mean, that's a rarity. Sometimes you have to wait for about 7 years for that to happen. So. Yeah, it would be. Yeah. Yeah, Rod. All right, let's do it. Okay, let's go full screen here. Okay. Well, I'm on Spotlight, so if people want to go full screen, they'll have to select it themselves. So I am on Spotlight, though. Well, go for it. Oh, yeah. That looks like the Revolutionary War. Uh-huh. I see the outline, yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Hundreds. Nice. Mm-hmm. Very good. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, 2 weeks ago when I went to Arizona, I saw those big giant tents and it said fireworks on them. So there you go. Here's the day. Uh-huh. Blew away. Oops. Okay. Oh, that'd been terrible. Okay, so now it's my turn because we have something for you that, well, let's just say it didn't blow away. It, how can I put this? It would basically blow up. This is called someone housing illegal fireworks and karma got him. So watch this. Anyway, there you go. That happened in Ontario 2 days ago. And unfortunately, it killed 2 people. So that was pretty nasty. That definitely made the news. But wow, talk about that person taking a video of a house that just simply looked like just a typical house fire, and kaboom. Holy smokes. So unfortunately, that was a bad situation. Yeah. Happy 4th of July. Be safe out there. So, there's our public service announcement for the Amateur Television Network. So. Mm-hmm. Crazy stuff. Nope. Everything good there, Manuel. Everything good. Let's see here. Well, I'm getting closer to that 905. Just put $2,000 more and I'm done. I'm dying to try it out. I'm I'm hungry to try it out. Got that 2.4 stick right over there. So zippity-doo-dah. Right over there. I got my 2.4 stick. All I got to do is hook that thing up, see if it transmits. So I'm not worried about 5.8 right now. At least I'll see a picture. I won't get an audio, but so because the well, 4.5 is on the 70 megahertz side. Unfortunately, it's 6.25 on the ATN systems, and we have to either go on the hill and modify it, which means that anyone's monitoring 5.9 has to modify the subcarrier, so to 6.0. So transmit, I believe, is okay. So it's just the receive part of it on 5.9. We have to either we wait for the new firmware to bring 6.25, or we have to go up on the hill and put it on 6. So because in broadcast it's 6.25 on commercial, but 6.0 everything else, it's all good. It's all good. Where'd everybody go? They all left. Oh my goodness gracious! It's the Lee Emanuel and Rojo show. What you got there, Lee? Oh, gotcha. All right. You got your spy cam all set. Yep, and I'm going to be, hopefully, if everything goes our way, I'll be one of them too. And I'll be on Whereby 100% of the time. Until Mike gets that streaming bridge up on the repeaters. Then if we get that streaming bridge up on the repeaters, guess what? I just bring my ATEM and just hit on air and we're on the air. So let's do this. That will be a cool thing. And then, of course, monitor, back on Whereby, and I can just monitor the repeater that way. Or just simply just go RTP. Just monitor RTP like they do in Australia. Speaking of Australia, I did get a hold of Peter Cussons. We got a SRT credentials now, so we can access the repeater there in Australia. And we're ready to go for the DATV QSO party. We're ready to link everybody up. Now's the time to, let's see, this is July, so we got 6 weeks, perfect timing. So we can start getting a gym newsletter out and get more details about the DATV QSO party, how they can link their repeaters up. We have ATN1 for our regular people checking in, ATN2 for all the repeaters coming in. So we're gonna have two systems. Yay! So we're gonna really test the resources on my internet. I have to upgrade my internet too. I just found out I only got 300 megs in my pipe, and I'm like, no, that ain't gonna happen. I'm going gig. So I got to talk to customer retention and see if I can get a gig at the same price, because Frontier is offering a gig at the same price. For gag. Quick. Exactly. Well, looks like, well, it's looking like, fireworks might be replaced by, these little smart drones, right? Those little programmable drones. Oh, yeah. Watch this.
May be the future of 4th of July celebrations.
We're definitely going to see them to continue to grow in the future.
Rick Boss is the president of Sky Elements Drone Shows. The Texas-based company originally started doing fireworks shows, but in the last 5 years, they transitioned to doing drone shows. They have two this week in the Bay Area, at Brentwood's 4th of July Festival and the Alameda County Fair.
And it's been just going like gangbusters here for the past 3 years. And in fact, we're flying
well,
a little
this
over
one
half
here,
of all the drone shows in the U.S.
Boss says they first
Skydrone is
the drone
basically all over the place.
Site,
They're doing things for weddings and football games, you name it.
The Alameda County Fair
and of course fairs just like this.
Angela Moore, the COO of the fair, says it was so successful.
Rather than drones colliding with each other, I have seen drones collide with each other and then they go down to the ground. But
200 drones.
You're talking about thousands of them.
May eventually replace fireworks shows. Moore says another benefit is that drone shows are more sustainable than fireworks.
The environmental impacts of having drone shows, right? There's less noise pollution.
Oh, you could probably do it with sound effects.
And we can run it every single night. versus a fireworks show where we
Totally
can run maybe
amazing.
once during the fair.
Traditional fireworks shows may be fun
That
and
is called
exciting,
hours
but
and
they
hours
pose
and hours
risks.
of programming.
Multiple fire
Yep, and there you go.
agencies
There's
in the Bay Area
the
have warned
aftermath of
against
a
the use of
firework.
fireworks due to their ability to cause wildfires. The loud bangs can also affect those suffering from PTSD. Boss says
But you're right,
shows
Rod.
bring
It's gonna
all the
take
lights and
it's gonna
excitement
take a
of
while for the
fireworks
public
without the
to
problems.
open up on this, because that's just technology versus pyrotechnics. So very true. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It just depending on how elaborate you want to get, but I'm pretty sure that it's not cheap. But can you imagine the person that thought about this and took the time to program it and just have some fixed programming and just get coordinates and run the program? I mean, that's pretty ingenious. But yeah, but they're fun to watch. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Curious on how many drones that they lost just to tweak them. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's it. Me too. Good night, Lee. Take care. Happy 4th, my friend. Thank you. May the 4th, yeah, exactly. July the 4th be with you. Jedi the 4th be with you. Right. Yes, it is. The appetizer before the main course to serve man. Yeah, that's the Twilight Zone. One of my favorite episodes. To serve man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you got to hear Bill Pullman's speech. Will not vanish into the night. Today, it's our Independence Day. That's it. All right. Yeah. All right, I have to bring it up. You know that. I got to bring up Bill Pullman because he's no longer with us anymore. He passed away. All right. Oh yeah, you know me about video. All right, here we go. This is the speech of speeches. Here we go.
Major. Arlen, sir. Good morning. Good morning. In less than an hour, aircraft from here will join others from around the world. And you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind, that word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interest. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom. Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We're fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
And that is what I'm talking about. KC6JPG. Oh, man. Good stuff. Propaganda. Yep. We will live on. Yep, and I'm going to get going too. So, Rod, happy 4th. Manuel, happy 4th. It was absolutely fun tonight. So, you take care. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you on Thursday for Jim's Net. KC6JPG. Good night, everyone, and happy Independence Day. Thank you. Next time. Ha ha.